Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. I see you, Katie. Good morning. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Lindy. Good morning, Zizor. Wow, everyone's ready to go first thing in the morning. I love it. We're going to get the show started here in, let's say 2 minutes. 1 minute. We'll give a couple more people some time to show up. Check out the fish. Don't forget to say hi in the chat. Don't forget to like this video. We're going to get started very soon. Don't you worry. All right, let's do it. It's time for the Morning Announcements. Morning Announcements on the Nightcat with Nightcat YouTube channel. This is the kitsch-minded morning show where we get you ready for the day. I am your host, Nightcat. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Happy Friday. Oh, we did it. We survived another week. This one didn't feel like we'd survive it, but we got through it just fine. And we've got some very exciting things coming up on the show today. First, we're going to dive into the Morning Mews. The CDC says no more masks. I'm going to tell you what that actually means, and I'm very, very excited. No more masks for vaccinated people. We'll get into that. And then we're going to dive into the book of unusual knowledge. I'm going to share with you some sportsball stories. I know, me, sportsball, but I found a list of weird sportsball injuries in the book of unusual knowledge, and I was like, well, we got to talk about these sportsball injuries, because they're all kind of a little bit funny, a little bit. Sorry, it's a little bit funny when people get hurt. I don't know what to tell you. Before we get into any of that, though, it is Friday, which means that it is Show and Tell Friday. Show and Tell Friday, just like in school. Remember how you used to take in something cool from your house and show your friends how cool it was? Well, we don't get to do that as an adult. No one has a show and tell program at their office, as far as I'm aware. So I thought it would be fun if we got to do it here on the show. So I pull out some stuff that I either found at thrift stores or yard sales or whatever. This one is a gift. And it's one of the most I would say it's probably my most treasured possession. It really is. Like, in a house fire, if my cats and my lizard are safe and everything, I'm running in to save my signed headshot of Judge Judy. This is Judge Judy. everyone knows Judy at this point, right? I'm showing this off because I have a Judge Judy story coming up in the Morning Mews, but I've had this now for probably like 7 years. She comes with me everywhere. I love this thing so much. It just says, Jackson, my best, Judge Judy. Now, here's how this happened. When I was a contestant on Biggest Loser a while ago, God, it feels like forever ago, we were like locked on the ranch. We couldn't talk to anybody outside. We couldn't even get letters or calls from home. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have like any sort of TV of any kind. We had like, they brought us in like 4 movies and that's all we could watch. So really the only thing you could do is talk and gossip and get to know your castmates as well as the crew. And you end up getting really tight. You spend 24 hours a day for like 6 months with these people and you just sort of get to know them. Well, one of these people, her name is Casey. I love Casey. Casey was part of the casting team, and she and I got to talking one night about Judge Judy and how much I love Judge Judy. Like, when I got home from school, it was Judge Judy and then Animal Planet until Amazing Race or CSI came on. And I was obsessed. I watched Judge Judy every day. Even at my grandparents' house, when I was at my grandparents' house for the summer, I made sure that I was home in time for Judge Judy every single day. Even if I was out four-wheeling, catching snakes and stuff. Judge Judy had to happen. So anyway, Casey, after Biggest Loser, obviously you gotta go find work on a new show. She found work on a new Judge Judy show called Hot Bench. Now, Judy's not on that one. It's 3 judges. It's a court show with 3 judges, and they all, have their ruling or whatever. But she got to work with Judge Judy very closely. She was like a head honcho over there on Hot Bench, and she sent me this text one day that was like, "Give me your address." I was like, "Okay." And then about a week later, Judy showed up. And she's been in my frame and she's been on my wall ever since. She used to hang right above my bed so that she could preside over my dreams. But now she hangs up on the wall with the other famous ladies. I have other famous lady autographs and she hangs up there with them. So, Judge Judy, God, I love her so much. And that is the show and tell Friday for today. Isn't she great? God, she's the best. She's crazy. Anyway, I've got a Judge Judy story coming up in the Morning Mews. So why don't we just get into it? It's time for the Morning Mews. The Morning Mews is a part of the show where I go through the top pop culture headlines. I tell you what's going on so you got stuff to talk about when you go to school and work. And I want to start in the great state of Florida. Florida. At some point, we just gotta let them secede, right? Just let them be their own thing. This is crazy. A Florida man was walking his dog down the sidewalk next to a pond or a lake of some kind, and this puppy is 8 months old. It's a chocolate lab puppy. Suddenly, an alligator launches out of the pond, grabs the dog, takes him into the lake. So at that point, I would be in hysterics. Like, I'd be on the ground screaming and crying and begging for my dog to come back. This guy, because Floridians are built different. I know everyone says that they're built different. Like, that's a bodybuilding thing. Like, ooh, look at my big body. I'm built different. It's like, nah, you're still just a can of meat. That's all. You're a can of meat just like me. If you get into a car accident, boom. That's it for us. Floridians, on the other hand, actually are built different. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the water. But this guy jumped into the lake to save his dog. So the gator starts death rolling the dog, like really trying to eat him for lunch. Mike, his name is, he jumps in, gets the gator into his hands and jams a thumb into his eye. So he jams a thumb into this gator's eye, and then he lifts the gator up out of the water, and all of that eye jamming and water lifting drops the dog. Dog swims off to shore to safety. Well, since he doesn't have a dog in his mouth anymore, he turns around, he bites Mike's hand. The dog and Mike both needed stitches, but they both got out of the lake okay, and they are on the mend. That poor dog, I'll tell you, I watched a news clip of him, and that dog comes barreling out at the news camera. He's so excited to see people, but he has a cone, and he's got bald patches and stitches all over his body, but it didn't let him slow him down. He came right out. He's like, "Hey, there's people here. Hi." I love labs. Doesn't matter if they just got attacked by an alligator. They'll come out to greet everybody. Labs are the best dogs. All right, let's see what else we got. Judge Judy. Okay, we've already had a lot of Judge Judy appreciation on this show this morning, but we're gonna keep it going. Judge Judy is ending her show after 25 years. That news broke, I think, last year. And she's been doing some, wrapping it up, putting a bow on the series. And she's been doing some interviews kind of talking about how she got to where she is today. In one of those interviews, they asked her how she got her massive salary. That girl's getting paid like $50 million a season, almost $60 million a season, to make Judge Judy. And they're like, how did you get that? Because notoriously, like, not every TV personality gets that. I can't imagine, Jenny Jones was ever pulling in that kind of money every season. And she talked about how she went into the company after they had gotten Judy on the air and it was going really well. She walked into them and she goes, I want you to start treating me like a partner. Stop treating me like a paid employee. I am your partner. I created this. And the reality is, this is my favorite part. She went in and negotiated hard. She goes in and she's just like, listen. Everyone loves Judge Judy. The thing is, I can make this show without you. You cannot make this show without me. I can take Judy Scheindlin anywhere and be successful. You need me. So, instead of doing that, how's about we work out a deal where I get a profit share of this show, and we both can cash in on the stuff, on this gift that we've been given. And that worked, man. They gave her the raise immediately, and she has just been one rich lady forever. Ugh, that girl knows how to hustle. I love her. Judy! I try to embody the spirit of Judy at all times. I want to be mean and rich, just like Judy. All right, and finally, this is like the most exciting news I think I've heard in a really long time. The CDC has announced that it is fully... Oh, all right, hold on. Come here. Ugh. He's acting up. He's bumping the camera and being really annoying. Hi, Freddy. Hello, say hello to the people. Hi. Oh, I know. Hi, buddy. Okay, so the CDC announced yesterday that fully vaccinated people are now safe to go maskless indoor or outdoor, and I am so freaking stoked about this. You have no idea. I am so sick of wearing the masks, and especially in the summer, my face gets so hot. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you could drag your nasty bare face anywhere you want to go. That just means that the CDC no longer thinks that it's a risky activity for vaccinated people to do maskless activities. Okay, goodbye. He was only interested in being a star for a second. All that means is that the CDC doesn't say that we need them anymore, but that doesn't mean that private businesses and states and local municipalities, like I think Salt Lake City's mask mandate is still in effect. That doesn't mean you can just buck all mask mandates because you have a vaccination card. You still have to wear your masks and follow the rules. And listen, we're going to transition out of this. It took us a year to get here. Oh, what? God, like over a year now, year and a quarter. It's going to take some time to phase out, all right? So just always have a mask in your back pocket. If someone asks you to put your mask on, don't be a jerk about it. And quite frankly, I don't want anyone to think that I'm an anti-masker just because I'm at the park without my mask or something. So I'm going to have to make like some hashtag Team Moderna like pins or something, just so everyone knows. I'm like, I'm not one of those. I'm just vaccinated. It's good. And that is the Morning Mews. Thank you so much for watching. Let's check in on the chat. Let's see how everybody's doing. Sadie, I know this fish. He's gotten gigantic. Here, I'll move aside so you can probably see him. Nope, he's gonna hide right behind the microphone. Ah, there he is. Oh, he's gigantic. That's Cosmo. He is very aggressive. I didn't expect him to be because he's a goldfish. And they're like, goldfish are peaceful, it's fine. No, he's very aggressive. He splashes water at me all the time. He's always like looking to fight me through the glass. He's killed a couple fish in there, which I was very, very, very sad and shocked about, because I got a goldfish specifically because they're peace-loving creatures. Not this guy. This guy wakes up every day and chooses violence. He's a monster. So yeah, hi Sadie. Hi Marissa. Hi Corinne. Hi Sadie. Happy Friday to you. Lindy, Zizor, Erica, Katie. Hello, hello. Brent, I have a setup to show a different Lego minifigure every day on my webcam for work. So I kind of do show and tell every day. That's awesome. What do you do for work? Are you like a Lego builder for work or what? I do like the idea of a Lego minifigure stream. That's kind of fun. Put your link in the chat or in the comments so I can go look at it. Oh yeah, Katie, when I got this Judy picture in the mail, I had no idea what she was sending me. I had no clue. And then I opened it and I peed a little bit. I almost died. My spirit left my body for a second and then came back in. I was like, well, if I'm dead, I can't enjoy my Judy picture, can I? Good morning, Dog on Tea. Good morning, Mindy. And good morning, Marsha. Oh, it's so good. If you haven't read Judge Judy's books, like, they're actually pretty good too. She's got one that's called Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining. And there's another one that's called Beauty Fades, Stupid is Forever. Anyway, very interesting stuff. I think she's just a fascinating lady. I don't agree with her on everything, I'll tell you. She and I have, different political ideals and we have different ideas. But I'm not gonna sit here and trash her. You gotta respect Judy for that's a hustle. That's a Judy hustle. All right, well, good morning. I'm so happy to see you all. Before we continue, I want to quickly plug our Patreon, patreon.com/Nightcat Show. Judge Judy would love if you gave me a salary that matched hers. She told me all about it. What was that? Yeah, she thinks that you should join the Patreon too. You can join the Patreon at 2 tiers. There's a $3 tier and a $5 tier. That is a monthly contribution that gets made directly into the Nightcat account. I take that money and I do things like fix up the fish. I get new studio lights. We have caterpillars. I have something new. Oh, do I show you? Okay, hold on just a second. I wasn't gonna show you today, but I was gonna save this for next week, but we have an ant farm! Look! It's so cool. Look they've already built, these ants have been very busy. I actually have 2 ant farms. One of these guys has been very busy. You can see all those tunnels. That one's kind of like a heart-shaped tunnel. I love it, because they're telling me how much they love me already. But yeah, we just have these giant carpenter ants. And we'll do some close-ups and stuff on them too. They're really cool. But, anyway, the only reason we can do any of that is with the support of our patrons. Patreon.com/Nightcat Show. If you can make a contribution to help keep this show on and doing weird stuff like buying bugs, let me keep buying bugs with your money. Patreon.com/Nightcat Show. Thank you so much in advance, and thank you to everyone who's already a patron. I know a lot of you watch the Morning Announcements, and I am just always so grateful for your help. You're the best. And I think that means it's time for us to get into the book of unusual knowledge. Unusual knowledge. All right. You know how I feel about sportscatball. I don't love the sportscatball. I've never really enjoyed sitting down and watching any sportscatball event, the basketball, the golf, the hockey, the whatever. But it's a little bit funny when people get hurt. I don't know what to tell you. And these are some wacky sports injuries. This one, Ryan Klesko. In 2004, this San Diego Padre, I believe that's baseball. If I'm wrong, I don't care. You can correct me. I don't care about it. Was in the middle of a pregame stretch when he jumped up for the singing of the national anthem. So he was stretching, he was getting his body ready. Suddenly the anthem comes on, he goes, whoa, and he stands up really fast. He ended up pulling a rib cage muscle, and it sidelined him for over a week. You stood up too fast and you got injured. That sounds like maybe he was over 30. Freddie Fitzsimmons. In 1927, New York Giants pitcher Fat Freddie Fitzsimmons was napping in a rocking chair when his pitching hand got caught under the chair and was crushed by his substantial girth. Surprisingly, he only missed 3 weeks of the season, so he was able to rehab it pretty fast, but he was out for a while because he crushed his own hand with a rocking chair. Poor buddy. Also, though, they call him Fat Freddy in 1927. Have you ever went back and looked at, like, the Sideshow Freak pictures of, like, the fat lady or the world's fattest man or whatever? They look like average Americans today. Like the world's fattest people, the sideshow freak people who were there for their size. They'd come back to America today, and they'd look at our reality TV like, oh man, you guys have been training. All right, this is Clarence Blevin. Blevin wore false teeth, but he believed that he looked more intimidating without his false teeth. Yeah, I'm gonna guess if you've got fake teeth in there, you'd look pretty scary without them. So he would take them out, he'd put them in his back pocket. Well, in 1923, he slid into second base, and as he was sliding, the fake teeth, the chompers, they call them in the book, the chompers bit his backside, and he had to be taken out of the game. He bit his own keister. He bit his own booty. Can you believe it? I mean, I know a lot of our politicians kiss their own asses a lot, but I've never heard of anyone, like, chomping down on one. Chris Hansen. During a publicity stunt for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2003, a tree stump and an axe were placed in the locker room to remind players to keep chopping wood, which I guess was their way of saying keep pushing, keep going harder. I don't know why. It's Florida. Let's not try to get to the bottom of why they decided that this was a good idea or why that was a good saying. So punter Chris Hansen took a swing at the stump. Keep on chopping that wood, right? Well, Chris missed the stump. He sunk the axe into his non-kicking foot. Now, even though it was his non-kicking foot, the injury was so bad, he wasn't able to play for the rest of the season. So, you know, maybe don't leave axes around for people to play with in a locker room. I wouldn't trust a bunch of men like that with an axe. They can't be trusted. They're going to do something stupid, like axe their foot. All right. And finally, we've got Darren Bernard. In the late 90s, British professional soccer player Bernard was sidelined for 5 months with knee ligament damage. I'm sorry, I could do this. He was sidelined for 5 months with knee ligament damage after he slipped in a puddle of his puppy's pee on the kitchen floor. He couldn't play for almost half a year because his dog peed on the floor and he splashed around in it. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. The incident earned him the very unfortunate nickname of Whiz Kid. Oh, Darren, that sucks. There's no way. If you slip in puppy pee and that's how you're out of the game, you don't tell people you slipped in puppy pee. You make up a whole new story. I don't know. You were rescuing puppies from a burning building or something. You don't tell people that. And that is the Book of Unusual Knowledge. Boop, boop. Thank you for watching. All right. Hey, real quick before we go, I do just want to say, if you don't listen, there's a podcast that I got interviewed for. If you don't listen to the I Am Salt Lake podcast, it's awesome. They have interviews with some of the most interesting people in town. I'd recommend going and listening to it, but my episode drops on Monday. So go find the I Am Salt Lake podcast on your favorite podcast directory, subscribe to it. My episode will drop Monday. I'll post the link for it then once I have it, so you'll be able to go directly to my episode on Monday. But if you want some weekend listening, I Am Salt Lake podcast is really good. Don't forget, we've got a new episode of Curiosity Killed Nightcat coming out tonight on the Nightcat Radio podcast. I'm going to have to record it today, but there will be one, I promise. By the day's end, you'll have a new episode of Curiosity Killed Nightcat, by God. Look for the Nightcat Radio podcast on your favorite podcast directory. We drop the Curiosity Killed Nightcat episodes, as well as the audio from all of the YouTube episodes on Nightcat Radio. Nightcat Radio is the place to go. Subscribe to it, watch it, review it, leave me a little comment on there. I love it, especially on Apple Podcasts. That's how we get charting. And I think that's it. Check out the podcast. Check out I Am Salt Lake podcast. And let's double check the chat before we go. Say hi. Oh, okay. So you're just a nerd, Brent. Me too. I'm just a regular nerd. That's cool though. I want to see. Send me the link for that. Oh no, Katie's afraid of ants? Oh, that's good to know, Katie. I didn't realize that. These are some behemoths too. They're monster ants. I love them. Well, You'll just have to look away from the camera when you see ants, Katie. All right, that's our time. I'm gonna wrap it up with 3 minutes of fish. Check out the fish swimming around to some cool music, man. Bye, bye. That's gonna do it for the show. Wow, look at those fish go. They're still hungry. God, there was so much food in there, and they're still going. Hey, have the day that you deserve. Have the weekend you deserve. I hope you deserve a good weekend. I hope you've earned it. Have a good weekend. Bye.